In this beautiful video, I will go over one of the most important topics that you need to understand if you actually want to close clients from your brand. So if you're running an agency or you're running an info product business, in this video, I want to go over how you can make a lot of money from your brand and scale your business from your personal brand. And I'm going to talk about the number one concept you have to leverage for this. Okay, I want to specifically go over the strategy that Iman Gadzhi used to go from 70 to 100K subs up to 5.8 million subscribers on YouTube in the space of like 3 years. And I'm going to break down exactly how he did it, what his thinking was behind it, and how you can apply this to your business to scale and grow it today with your brand. Okay, so that's what I want to dive into this video. I'm also using this myself. I've used this with clients. It works pretty well. I would recommend you have a listen if that's something that you're at all interested in. Okay, so we have to understand a theoretical concept that Iman used to actually get there in order to understand what moves we have to pull in our businesses right now. Okay, so before Iman grew his channel that massively, he had 70K subs, 100K subs, round about that mark. And during that time, when he was, at that stage in business, he was making solid amounts of money already. He was targeting people that already knew what an agency is, that already knew that the model existed. They maybe knew about SMMA, maybe they were running one. They were in market buyers. Okay, so what I want to talk about here and the theoretical thing that we have to understand to actually implement this into our businesses and make a lot of money from our brand is the difference between demand capture and demand generation. Okay, so demand capture meaning there's already demand in the marketplace, and all you're doing right now is you are funneling that demand into your business. So there's already people in the market looking for that solution, and all you're doing is attracting them to you. That's it. Okay. Demand capture is a lot easier to do. It doesn't make as much money, but it's a lot easier to do. And this is the best way to get your business off the ground. What you're doing here is you're targeting in-market buyers. You're targeting people that are already problem aware as well as solution aware. And this is easier to do, but it doesn't address a large market. Okay, so when you're first starting out with your agency or with your info business, then this is what you should be doing. You should be targeting in-market buyers. You should be doing demand capture, speaking to the specific type of person that already understands what that business model is. And that's what I'm doing as well. I'm not at a stage where I can do demand generation, and I'm going to explain what that is in just a second and how you can apply that. Okay, and this is exactly what Iman did to actually scale to 5.8 million subscribers. I'm currently in the process of still doing demand capture. And a very simple example for this is this exact type of video. This exact type of video is nothing that someone would watch if they didn't know about an agency or an info product business or they weren't running one. You are likely in a position right now where you're already, making some money, having some clients. Maybe you're doing 5K a month, maybe you're doing 10K, maybe 20, maybe 50, maybe 100. Maybe you're not making money, but you're on the edge of actually getting there. So like this video is for capturing demand, not for generating demand. Okay, and so like if you're starting out, if you're doing anything less than a couple 100K a month, then this is probably what you should be doing. You should be making videos that are specifically targeted towards one ICP, and you have to be specific with this. This is like the key to everything. Be specific in the way you talk to that specific type of person and just make videos about that one thing, and that's all you have to do. On the other hand, if you want to go big and you're already at a solid level, then you need to do demand generation. And I'm going to get into what that is, what that looks like, and how to do it in a second right now. So what Iman decided to do was to switch from demand capture to demand generation. And what that means is that he posted this one video that in my opinion was the catalyst for all of this growth and the catalyst for him being where he's at today. Like I genuinely believe this one video or this one thinking behind this video was the catalyst for him getting there. And that one video was called Best Online Business to Start as a Beginner in brackets 2023 or 2024. They adjusted the title throughout the years. That particular video got about 10 million views. And in addition to that, he generated, I think, 8 or multiple 8 figures off that one video. If you're not aware of this yet, and by the way, by this point you probably should be, but if you're not aware of this yet, if you're able to build and grow a YouTube channel with a niche audience or even, general audience, and you're able to actually amass and attract the right people, you make shit loads of money from this. And I genuinely mean this. There are YouTube channels out there that have 1,000 subscribers, or even 500 subscribers, that get like mediocre couple hundred views, that make tens of thousands of dollars every single month, and some even hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month from these videos. YouTube is by far the most powerful way to close and acquire high ticket clients in nowadays day and age. And for me personally, this is what I'm focused on. For myself as well as my clients, I'm always focused on the brand building side of things, as well as, a couple of other strategies that we're leveraging. But my point being, this is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful strategies that you can use and leverage today. And I also believe that, in a couple of months, in a couple of years' time, this opportunity won't be here anymore. Maybe in half a year, who knows? I don't think that in the future it's going to be as easy to build a following and build a brand. For the simple reason that I think, for example, platforms are going to start charging for you to upload YouTube videos, because there's so much money being made through people having these niche channels. And I genuinely believe in the future you'll have to pay for that. When you're paying for paid ads, for example, you're also paying for the eyeballs. And you're not doing that on organic traffic. But I genuinely believe platforms will start charging for it. Not only YouTube, also Instagram and other platforms. Besides that, the more people flood into the marketplace, the harder it is to get ahead. But if you've already made a name for yourself and people know who you are already ahead, and people can't reach you anymore. And so I genuinely believe that the gap to building a brand that you can attract qualified buyers with is closing. Might be closing in 6 months, might be 12 months, might be 24 months. I can't tell you, I don't know, but that's my thesis. And so you have to get into this now. That's that. Now, what was the strategy that Iman actually leveraged? So we talked about demand capture. This is what you should be doing in the beginning. Now, what Iman did is, when he was at 70 to 100K subs and he was just capturing demand, he realized that he was competing for the same attention, the same eyeballs, the same money, and the same clients as all of his competitors. And at the end of the day, he wanted to take over the marketplace, and that's effectively what he's done. And there's no one that comes even close to the level he's reached in the online agency info product market. And what he did was he posted that one VSL. 10 million views generated him 8 figures, multiple 8 figures. That was the catalyst for all of this growth. And the idea behind the video was switching from demand capture to demand generation. What is demand generation? Demand generation means you're speaking to the 80 or 90% of the marketplace that aren't maybe even problem aware. They maybe aren't even problem aware. They aren't solution aware, and they're not in the marketplace for a solution. So the way in which you have to picture this is this. About 5 to 10, maybe 15 or 20% of any marketplace is going to be in-market buyers. That's the demand you can capture when you're first starting out. About 70, 80, 90% of the marketplace is going to be people that are neither in the market for a solution nor out of the market and don't want to buy anything. It's going to be people in the middle that you can persuade into any direction. And then you have 5, maybe 10% of people that are never going to buy. I'll give you examples for all of these. So if we're saying, 10, 15, 20% of people that are in-market buyers, those are people that know they have a problem, know they want a solution to that problem, and are already actively looking for a solution to that problem. That's an in-market buyer. That's 5, 10, 20%, depending on the industry and the marketplace. About 70, 80, 90% of people are in the middle, meaning they don't really, they're not really that aware, but they're not opposed to it, they're in the middle. And then you have 5, 10, 20% of people that are out of market buyers. They won't buy anything at all, no matter what. And a good example for those people is, for example, people that say all courses are a scam. Frankly, that's bullshit. I've bought courses before and they've led to me being here where I'm at today. And so I don't think courses are a scam, but people that genuinely believe that courses are a scam and they make their whole entire personality around that, well, those are out of market buyers. You can't get those people to buy a course. That's just what it is, okay? So when you're doing demand capture, you maybe have access to 5%, 10%, 20% of the marketplace. When you're doing demand generation, you have access to up to 90, 95% of the marketplace. And so when you're generating demand, you're taking people that are not problem aware, not solution aware, and have no interest and don't really know anything. They're just, they're just existing, and you're taking those and generating their interest, generating their demand, which is super hard to do, but that's what makes a shitload of money, okay? And so to give you some numbers here so you understand what I'm talking about here, I would argue that you can probably get to 100K a month if you just do demand capture. I think after that, you have to switch to demand generation. If you look at the biggest offers in the space, whether that's agency offers, whether that's info product offers, these people usually do demand generation. They don't do demand capture. I'll give you a great example here, and this is an info product example specifically. If you look at Mr. Bergen Resnick, his name is Breast Scales, targeting a very unsophisticated market, but he is, for example, attracting a shitload of traffic with his lifestyle videos and with, you know, the way he is. He's taking the anti-guru approach, the anti-guru route, where he's essentially, you know, joking around a lot and just being himself and talking bullshit, and people resonate with that. And through him, you know, leveraging certain memes and through him leveraging his lifestyle, he generates demand for his offer. That's why his offer is now doing more than $1 million a month. Okay. And he's doing well. But at the same time, it's very hard to do that. He's like one of 1,000 people that can start out generating demand and actually do well with it. So like start with capturing demand, then go to generating demand. And again, this is no matter whether you run an agency, whether you run an info product, this is the way it works. And this is the one move that Iman made. Because after that, what did he start doing? He stopped doing videos and making videos about, I don't know, top 5 outreach methods for agency owners or how to sign your first client or sales call breakdowns. He stopped posting those types of videos because that's what he was posting before he breached that 100K sub mark, right? He then started posting videos about the best books to read to get rich and how to be a top 1% man and the best business model to start and these types of videos. Because these types of videos, if you think about it, they attract who? They attract pretty much everybody. They attract the student in school who wants to make money. They attract the people in uni who want to build a business for themselves. They attract the seasoned business owners that want his advice because, you know, he's doing well for himself. They attract pretty much anybody in any age range. Okay, maybe actually pretty young age range, but you get my point. They attract a way broader market. And so what he was able to do was generate demand for his offer, and he was the one bringing people into the market and making them and creating in-market buyers out of these people. And for that particular reason, he was the authority, because he was the one that brought someone from I don't know anything to, oh, I'm interested in this. And obviously, if he's the one bringing them there, he's going to be the one that they see as the authority in that space. And I'll be totally honest with you, that's what happened with me as well. The reason I got into business was because I watched his videos and then I started my first agency. I wasn't an in-market buyer. I was in the 80%. I wasn't aware. He made me aware. He brought me into the marketplace. He made me an in-market buyer. I bought his stuff because I saw him as the sole authority in that space. And that's why no one could compete with his brand, because he was bringing all the people in. He wasn't the one capturing the demand. He was the one generating the demand. And again, that's not an easy thing to do. People think the things he's doing is easy. It's absolutely not easy. First of all, just the setup he has for creating YouTube videos, he has $30, $40, $50, $60,000 cameras behind his YouTube videos. He has this entire setup. He has the full-time videographers, all the editors. There's a lot of strategy that goes into this. But at the end of the day, brand is the most powerful thing you can build nowadays. Why do you believe that people like Mark Zuckerberg start building a brand all of a sudden? If you go, like genuinely, if you go on his IG account, you see him, I don't know, surfing on a surfboard with like a suit on and a suit and tie, and then like holding the America flag and like doing stuff like that. And he looks crazy for it. And then he starts jujitsu and does all of these things. Why do you think he does that? He already has shitloads of money. He understands that after you've kind of accomplished the money game, you get into the power and influence game. And both money as well as power and influence depend on your brand. And whether you like it or not, you have a brand. You're maybe just not aware of it, right? You might not intentionally build your brand, but your brand is there, because your brand is the expectations you set with your clients versus the results you deliver. Your brand is the things you say to people and whether you actually stick to the things you say and hold yourself true to those standards or not. Your brand is who people perceive you to be and what types of morals they think you have, right? Like literally just me showing up twice a week, every Monday, every Thursday, and posting a video into a direction like this or any other topic around businesses and agencies, just me doing that will already show people this guy's consistent. He's posting every Monday, every Thursday, consistently, deliberately, and he doesn't stop. He's a consistent guy. That's a brand. And so like brand is proof plus personality, and most people don't have proof. So like generate proof first, then proof plus personality, you can build your brand. But proof can be generated in many different ways, and there's many different tactics that I'm following with my clients for that. But my point being, if you're starting out with your brand, go for demand capture. If you want to scale it properly to a big level, demand generation. That's exactly what Iman did. Okay, that's exactly the switch that he made. And now he's making a couple of other plays that I think are very smart. He now started selling a lot. Like he's burning through his audience right now. In the last 30 days, he sold like 5 different programs. 30 days, 5 programs. So he's burning through his audience because he's making a very smart move. What is he doing? So he obviously bought a stake of ownership in WOP, which is a platform that you can host digital products on. And every single one of his 15 products that he sold in the last 3 years is now hosted on WOP. Whether that's Agency Accelerator, Agency Navigator, whether that's consulting.com, whether that's literally anything, it's all hosted on that platform. And what he's doing right now is he's essentially funneling all of these people that he has in his audience to buy his stuff. Then they get on WOP. And if he adds, say, a couple 100,000 people, 500,000 people onto the WOP platform because he's funneling all of his traffic into his products and they're hosted on there, guess what? The valuation of WOP goes up. He can then delete his social media channels, sell his stake at WOP, and he's going to be a billionaire. And so like, you have to become better at understanding the moves people are making, and you have to become better at kind of monitoring the marketplace. This is the transition that Iman made to actually scale his brand to that big of a level. And again, we spoke about this before. Being able to build a personal brand in today's day and age, I know everybody's talking about it, but I don't think people understand the power behind it. I don't think you guys realize AI is going to take over literally everything, like everything. I'm already using AI so much every single day, and it's literally replaced so many different jobs that I would have had to hire for in the future like this. And sure, AI is not only going to replace jobs, it's also going to create jobs, but at the same time, let's keep it real. Humans always seek human interaction. They wouldn't like speaking to a robot all the time. They're naturally seeking human interaction. And I genuinely believe that although AI will create other jobs, whilst, destroying some, if you want to differentiate yourself in the future, you have to have a personal brand. And there's certain things that are going to happen in the future that, you can try and forecast. For example, I also believe that in the future, you will have a badge to verify that you're going to be a human being. So like you have a badge on IG, right? The verification badge. It's not going to be to verify that you're actually like a true identity and a true like person on there. It's going to be to verify that you're actually human and not AI. And so like you need to kind of try and have foresight in where the marketplace is going to be headed to. So I know I'm yapping about a bunch of different topics right now, but I hope that that's understandable to you. The true power of brand, what you have to do in what situation you're in, depending on where you're at with your business, and why it's so important to build and how you should build it. So if you want more like raw talk videos like these in the future, where I'm just sitting down and giving you my raw opinions about different topics and giving you advice on what I've seen in the marketplace, what I've seen works, what I've done myself, what my clients are doing, and what everybody in my network is doing, then, just drop it down below in the comments and I'm happy to look at that. And any video ideas you have, just let me know. If you have any videos you want me to post in the future, let me know. That's it. If you want to get to know, If you want to get to know more about my story, and what I've done so far and how I even got here in the first place, you can click the first link down below in the video description right now. And besides that, I think it's also going to pop up somewhere on the screen. Besides that, I'll see you guys in the next video. If you found value in this and if you liked this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.